YouTube, you are in for a doozy today as we are starting off top 16 of the Meta Weekly every single week, bro, with Archmage at the top. Wait a second, it's not Archmage, it's Elfnote versus Skystriker. I don't know what the current vibe is with Elfnote. Are you all disappointed? Are you happy with it? Are you just not touching the deck whatsoever until it gets its future support? Well, let's see how good Elfnote is in today's event, as we have Skystriker right away shotgunning the Typhoon chant in the draw phase, which just got limited to 1 in the TCG. That's how good this card is. Now, by watch as long as it can, that greatly supports the events, even if you have me on in the background. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Let's search it up. Grab ourselves an Eldem. We are now not going to use Vision within the draw phase. Imperm negate the Eldem mate. Vision can now sacrifice the Widow Anchor. We unfortunately did not have Triple Tactics talent turned on, as the Imperm is not a monster effect. We have Ray, but we have not used up the normal summon, so there we go. Very nice. Camellia is going to get a 4th spell in Graveyard if we want to, or we could just engage. What are our disruptions? Non-target pop a card on the field, negate and take control. We also have return back cards, and then also link into the ability to pop a monster, or pop a card that is, or banish a monster. We also have super polymerization. And if we want to count Mystical Space Typhoon, that would be 6. 6 disruption? Let's go. Fenrir. So we passed on the opportunity of destroying it on its summon before it activates a search. We're going to Widow Anchor, negate and to take control of the Meteus the Pure. Yoink. Now, Lemnis Gate's activatable even if you control a monster on the main zone, thus taking control of it's okay. This is our MST, right? Wait for them to pay the cost. Don't activate on activation. They activate the effect, and only the effect itself is hard once per turn. So you force them into that trick, you wipe them out. 1 for 1, discard Ogre. That's the last card in hand as we go all in on the Power Patron. And then it gets wiped away. Power Patron needs to be synchroed with. Only when synchroed with does it then go into a full Elfnote combo play. So what were we going to synchro with into? Some level 8 synchro play. Let's hop in a game number 2. I mean, if Skystriker resolves 3 engages in 1 turn and all 3 engages draw an additional card, you're not winning that duel. Now, what does she search for? She searches for Power Patron. So if Ash negates the Lucina, then it's a great bait, because we already have the card that we want. Thus, we did not negate with Ash, for the possibility of them already having the Power Patron in hand. So this is the mindset of wanting to, how to use your hand traps, of knowing what they're searching for. As a Baron de Flor to negate the Ash, unfortunately. We're going to send summon. So that's, it's 2 things you have to account for. Are they baiting my Ash? But if they are baiting my Ash, I still can't Ash because there'll be a Baron de Flor. But if they Baron de Flor negate my Ash, I should maybe at least trade with the Baron de Flor. But I have super polys, so maybe I don't have to take off a negate from the Baron de Flor. But if I have them negate early with Baron de Flor, they could also standby phase reborn back in Elfnote, which is going to be a form of disruption. A non-target return my monster back potentially. So now we're left with the ability to negate with Baron de Flor, anything. Negate a spell and trap with Dragster. Non-target negate a card in the field with the Rhapsody, which we can chain linkage to try to dodge this from being able to negate. And so negate, negate, negate. We could also reborn into a potential disruption. We also have Veiler, Droll, Ash. 6, 7 disruptions. Yes, let's go. Chant, Eldem. We're not playing in the draw phase for some reason. All right, we're now under Droll, when we could have played around that if we wanted to. By summoning a Wind, we now get to fuse with their Wind Baron de Flor. Linkage is going to be negated by Dragster, as the other linkage will be used in response. So we have a negate on both, straight up. Negate this linkage, negate that linkage, 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 back to back, negate, mate. Well done. Set Super Poly, linkage right away. This is a desperate play. I mean, you have to identify this. You have to, as Jordanion, look at this and go, who the heck does that? They don't have other plays. All right. We're going to Valor, negate, 0, mate. Ideally, you want to hold Ash for the second effect of 0. It is high impact. Very good. Sugoi. We did not want to set the Lemnis Gates because we wouldn't have another way to get a second Skystriker spell in the graveyard, so I guess that could be okay. And we also want to discard it with the Super Polymerization, which it could then be a way to get it in the grave to then use its other form of disruption to go into a Zeke or an Azalea. So it's going to be 1 disruption with the Lemnis Gate, fuse their field with Super Poly, non-target pop with the 0. The problem is, within this 3 disruptions, the 0 popping a card being 1 disruption also enables the Lemnis Gate to be that other disruption. So if Ash negates the 0, we don't pop, we don't Lemnis Gate, so then we would only be on Super Poly. Welcome Home plus being summoned. Now, what did this accomplish? By summoning this after activating Welcome Home, it's got a secret effect. The monster in the center monster zone cannot be destroyed by 0. Very nice. Well, I'm going to Ash, because I saw that's the high-impact way to stop that definitively, which now turns off the Lemnis. No pop, no access to Ray, no Rose pulled out of the graveyard, from the deck that is, so we're just sitting and waiting with Super Poly. We can MST the trap. Oh, crap. I hope I could fuse with you. I don't think so. Can't fuse with the Baron to floor. There's a chance it just wipes out Super Poly right now. And of course, great. Hajime. Now, is the bear statue doing anything in the mirror match? I would think so, because we have Natura Beast with infinite spell negate, but then we have Super Polymerization that could fuse with the Natura Beast, but can we fuse it into an Earth monster? Because we're locked in Earth monsters only. So this now is no longer a counter, right? If you want to go into a Garura that's a dark, a Mood Dragon that's a water, this protects you from Super Poly. Infinite spell, lock them out of non-earths, negate with Baron to floor, Nibiru the field, Ash, Call by the Grave, Droll, Little Night Chain, Banish. We got disrupts. Finger. The Sigma Plus. No reborn for you. Conduction Warrior. What are you doing? Target one other earth monster in the field. You normally target your own monster, but we're targeting the opponent to gain attack. Little Knight's just going to chain banish you. Get out of here with that mate. Now, we have not used up our normal summon yet. If we wanted to, we could have normal summoned the Kokai Mirror Guardian to protect from the Little Knight being able to do that. Now we have it. Super Poly, but it could only be into an Earth. Oh, what? Oschenfeld. There, what the heck? Level 5 or higher Earth plus a rock monster. I don't need Garura or Mood Dragon. Damn. What the? Well, that worked out. Didn't actually have the protection against Super Poly that I thought. One more summon, and that Nibiru's coming. Baron to floor, negate. We do not want the beta to search for, I think, a Sigma minus is what we want, right? Sigma minus would be the card. Yeah, that's what we want. Sprite Elf, reborn the Kartorhin. Ozza's going to steal an Earth monster. This is crazy stuff in the mirror match. Epsilon is going to send from the deck to then reborn. Reborn beta, banishing from the hand and grave to summon our block dragon. When do we Nibiru? We got a big problem here. They broke our field. Our infinite spell, our special summon, restriction, Baron to floor, negate, it's all been used up, mate. Gianna, she's gonna jump again. What is she doing? No, don't jump on the counter. Troll. In Lockburn after adding. Nibiru, now's the time. Wipe the field. Insane. all of that disruption turn 1 being completely broken down to our final and last card, Nibiru. The Carterhin is allowing the additional summon of the Guardian. Gianna, she's determined. I've been telling you, she's trying to jump on the freaking counter. I already did. Burying the floor, pop Nibiru. How's Melito winning this? I could not believe this. Elf, Baron, Nibiru, Ash, Droll. We had like 7 disrupt, right? Huh? Well, Block Dragon is going to be the ultimate perseverer, continuously, endlessly reborning from the graveyard. No chain link block. This is what you really have to hope, because this is a big effect. Your goal is to, I don't know if it's possible, chain link block Block Dragon with our link summon. So there'd be 2 things. You need a link summon that activates on summon, or you need, so that would be Little Knight, right? You would first link into another monster, then make a Little Knight with the Block Dragon plus the link monster, then it would chain link block it from being negated. That's the core goal. Otherwise, whatever you send to the graveyard, one of these would have to be a card that triggers engraved to chain link block the Block Dragon. Either or, we didn't have the chain link block. I don't think we had anything else that we could have summoned to create that chain link block. Baron de Floor is going to negate the Little Knight, attempting to banish 2 cards in the field. Not going to happen. Block Dragon doesn't activate engrave, it just reborn back. Now you'd think it could link climb. Whoa! Oh, okay, Mike, we did not find a way to deal that much damage. We self-inflicted. All right, thank you. Very nice. Well, let's hop into game 2. Conduction Warrior's the full combo play. We got Full Loss, which would be one of the great counters to this deck. Down the drain because Ash negates. Negate. And let's now speed on through our turn 1 slop, yes? What is this? What is this? A trillion disruption. Let's just see how they do it. Maxi right away. We're going to activate to fuse it up into the Plasma Magnum. There's no Elfnote on this field, no Natura B, so it can't be that great, right? Now we are activating to add from the deck, negate and Natura Baron to floor. The rest of the field did not matter. We needed Super Poly. I think that's what we've learned. Game 1 was won because of Super Poly. Super Poly is really good. Begin. What the heck is this slop? Max C it up. Analyzer under Max freaking C. Does Max C even matter when we have Monster Negate? We popped a monster, link off in the double Little Knight banish. We can non-target banish with the Chang'e. We can negate with the Baron to floor. We could also, I believe this card destroys a monster, right? So there we go with the double banish on the Little Knight. Sigma Minus is going to activate Diffusion Summon. I'd say this is a really good effect to negate. If I have an Impulse or a Guardian, definitely negate. An effect that you can't Ash or use some other, or Bell against. Little Knight, Chain Banish away the beta. Maxi just, yep, wasn't needed. Maxi didn't ruin this duel. It was just salt in the wound. Beta effect during the opponent's turn, summon from the deck, nothing, is the Baron to floor, negates. Interactive duel, yep. This is, definitely an issue. There's the long downtime of waiting for the opponent to build up this field, and then the lack of skill expression when having an overabundance of disruption, not having to carefully think on when or what to use their cards on, because they could just brute force your opening hand. Yep, a lot of issues. Q on Summon Bell. Negate. You got to be thinking here. This is an opportunity on resolution to Regina, summon Lucina, return back the cube before they link off with their hand, right? Summon in the middle, Regina, summon for the deck. See, when a lot of you say, Decade, how do I use disruptions? How do I know how to play? If you just watch the tournaments and predict the good plays before they happen, then you're on the right track. Then you're going to naturally learn how to use disruption, how to play around disruption. Why is this important? Because they could synchro at the hand. They make Maker with the rotary, we lose the duel. We don't want to lose the freaking duel. Well, now we get outplayed. Yup. But this is a non-target bounce, actually. You can return a level 6, so if they make a Maker, the rotary will trigger, but the Maker won't. Maker is going to get immediately bounced out of here. Get out. Did not synchro on resolution because of that. I think he realized, he was like, if I synchro, how about I just add rotary, don't activate, and then afterward, additional summon to make the Maker safely. Either way, it does mess us up. And because rotary is nuts, it just didn't really matter. The more I think about it, this Regina play really had no impact, because if they already had rotary, okay, you bounce my card back, I just summon it back. Yeah, lose. Tinia, activate, grab the welcome home. Power Patron is going to turn the Tinia into a level 9, so we can make a level 10 bearing the floor. Veiler's going to negate. We could still synchro with Tinia and then trigger to search our deck. But no bearing the floor for you. Okay. Summon, trigger, search. Ash, negate. We don't have a trigger effect on summon a chain link block the Power Patron. We could chain Reborn back, though. Sure. Now, why not chain Moonlit Chill to him activating? That'd be cheating. This is a trigger effect. It's not a quick effect that's contingent in response to a special summon. It triggers. So we're in the trigger window where you'd have to use it. Reborn. Now we got a monster negate with the clear wing synchro mate. Discard the Droll, summon Lucina, grab the Regina, and Regina will trigger, which you would then be able to chain the Moonlit Chill, but the clear wing synchro is not like bearing the floor. It's not a negate once while face up. It's per turn. Let's send, summon. So the goal, I guess, of Moonlit Chill would be to... What do we do? I guess if they summon Regina on our turn, we could try to negate it with the Moonlit Chill. Yeah. This is what we would use it on. Otherwise, we don't have a good use for the Moonlit Chill. And we'll talk about the disruptions as we go through this. Now, in the TCG, this is how it works. It's not a joke. It's not legal cheating. In the TCG, you summon Regina and I activate Regina. The opponent says, hold up. You did not ask for permission to activate Regina because I'm turn player, and if I have a trigger effect in my hand, it is allowed to be activated before your trigger effects. That is a TCG exclusive rule, which means you would activate Moonlit Chill on chain 1, and Regina would be chain link 2. So it wouldn't even negate it. So Moonlit Chill in the TCG is way worse. Now, in the OCG and Master Duel, it works differently. The trigger window is not going to be a higher priority than the non-turn player here because it essentially has the quick effect priority window. Do you understand that? So Regina trigger, and then even though it is a trigger effect, but because it's an unknown card in your hand, it is going to be activatable in response to Regina, not before Regina activating, or otherwise it wouldn't work like it does not work in the TCG. So this is illegal in TCG. If someone's done this to you, you got cheated. Negate, Crystal Wing Synchro Mate. We have a spell and trap card negate. We're gonna banish a card from the hand. So we're just gonna use that right now. The Elfnote Rhapsody of Madness is gonna be able to reborn and negate a card, plus negate a spell and trap card, plus the Veiler we have a negate. Let's do it, mate. Triple disrupts. Veiler negates. Not today, mate. No Kewl Tune synchro play, no overtake. We're ready with that dragster. Why the difference? Because TCG applies the main, so we already know the public trigger window, how it's a priority to be triggered and activating before quick effects. They apply that same trigger priority window to hidden cards in the hand. I don't think that's a good thing. I think it's unintuitive. I don't think that I should be asking for permission to trigger my effects before my opponent triggering unknown cards in the hand. It's kind of awkward, but that's how they do it. I think Konami from Japan, which runs Master Duel, they felt it would be more intuitive to not have to constantly ask for permission like their hand are set traps on the field, right? In a way, it slows down the game. It can create confusion, as a lot of people, I think, are displaying confusion or not happy about a ruling like that. And that's why Konami in Japan rules it differently. Now, the good question that I don't have an answer for is, who started it first? Did someone change? Did it work that way in OCG and then they changed it? Or did TCG change it? Or did they both naturally, that's always been that way for both games? I don't know. But I don't like the TCG way of that. If they normal queue and you don't respond, you should just hit surrender. That's it. You're done. Duel's over. Normal summon queue, pretty freaking broken. VCam when? Soon. I was thinking about getting a treadmill under my desk, and then you could watch me walk during the stream, yes? This is the instant win play, right? This is it. Rotary, Id Maker, search for 2 cards, look at the hand. So this is quite interesting. We wanted to look at their hand, and then with the knowledge of looking at their hand, be able to then manipulate the top cards of the deck with the knowledge of what we now know is in their hand. But because we did that, now one of our searches got negated. Is it better to manipulate the top cards of the deck with the knowledge of their hand instead of searching for a card? That was the trade-off. It also, now if they don't have another Ash in hand, this Ash has been used up and it will not be used to negate a Kewl Tune Synchro. So you could go into the fact that this Ash was inevitable. Oh, Maker would have been blocked from Ash, but then what Maker would have searched for, which would likely be a Kewl Tune Synchro, would have been Ashed anyway. So if this is inevitably going to happen, we at least now have better knowledge on the top cards of the deck. Am I saying that this is what you should do? I'm not. I'm just trying to make sense of either or. Either way can make sense. And now that I know what's in your hand, I'm going to safely banish and put to the bottom of the deck. So now the top card of the deck is unknown. Droll off the top of the deck, that's the worst thing. And he didn't even know he has that Droll. Normal summon a Ghost Spell. Okay, special summon Fortuna. We're going to be adding Chain Super Polymerization. Fuse it up. Bell and Maker. Thank you for answering why Bell's on the field. I'm like, what is going on here? Makes sense now. We just wanted to super poly it up. Use away. Not today. We could still special summon Clip and then Synchro with that. Fortuna is very slow. Fortuna is waiting to enter the open game state to activate to play the trap from the deck. At no point did we have the opportunity to do that. Clip. Mix, pop, goodbye to Baron to floor, Fortuna gone, and it's done. It's over. What's interesting about this duel is the Q effect was actually the most beneficial effect. It's not, oh, well, see, that's why he should have Chainlink blocked it. Even if Q was on Chainlink 3, we would have done the same thing. Get rid of the Lucinas. But we were able to do it with the confidence that they didn't have a third Lucina in hand. Because then that wouldn't be a good idea, right? If they already have Lucina in hand and you see 2 Lucinas on the top of the deck, you would allow them to draw that Lucina because it would be a brick. Either way, in the end, no matter how much you hate Kewl Tune, I'm sorry to say this, it's a high skill ceiling deck. I don't like how powerful it is, but I do like how skillful it is. And I do like that people argue about even the nuance of the Chainlink triggers. You're going to have people say that that was the absolute correct Chainlink order, even if Ash has not been used. You'll say other people say only after Ash has been used should you then have your Maker be negatable with an Ash. Well done. Let's hop into another one. Let's get to it. Skystriker is back at it again. We thought it was just a fad last week. It is not. People have finally discovered the true power of Skystriker, or at least it seemingly has a good matchup against Kewl Tune. If we're in a Kewl Tune meta and randomly people are coming up with Skystriker, convince me. And I guess if you think about it, if I tell you you lose the duel when they resolve a Maker and Rotary, right? You auto lose. Well, what happens if you Maker Rotary against a Skystriker player? They play Triple Tactics Talent, they play Droplet, they play Super Poly, their Engage can maybe randomly draw an additional card, they play the Vision Draw 2, they maybe play Pot of Desires. So there's a lot of cards, even after looking at their hand and top cards of the deck, that they could draw into unknown cards and have a ton of board breakers. So in theory, this would be why you want to play Skystriker. Let's see if that's true. What just happened? This could have been a legitimate connection fail. Let's go. If you took the win, you wouldn't be going first now, right? That's the idea. So I assume game one did not actually happen. This is the real game one. Remember, this is the definitive I win combo play. You win if you resolve both. Now, we did get to Ash the Maker, so that does reduce the impact of this. Let's look at the hand. And as I said earlier, which should be in the video, they have cards like Vision, which could draw into the unknown after they see your hand. We could +1 with the Engage. And with us randomly drawing cards, we could draw into Board Breakers, Triple Tactic Talent, Super Poly, Droplet, all great cards. Even if they see your hand, it's going to be difficult for them to play around. So just the fact that I'm saying it's not a definitive win against Skystriker, that's got to be a main reason on why you'd want to play this. Zalin, Q, let's look at the top cards of the deck here. Ooh, we are keeping the Ray on top, which JW's okay with that. JW doesn't have a normal summon. Ray into a 0 is not bad. We have Remix, which is going to be adding back a tuner to our hand, which we'd add back the Ash Blossom. We're going to Call by the Grave, Finger the Remix. Now, Zalin is just going to negate. Mate. Negate the first effect, which would be the first thing it's responding to. Now, do we add back Ash, summon Rico on Resolution, add from the deck, which would be adding a clip if we didn't already have one. We already have a clip, so we could search for something else, or just Synchro on Resolution instead of waiting. No, wait. This is only a negate in the main phase. We already used up our Zalin negate. Randomly banishing a card that does not matter. Somehow, we already got 3 spells in Grave. We're gonna get that random +1. We're going to negate. And this is a devastating negate with Ash Blossom for Bori, I should say, because you ideally want to hold Ash for the second effect of 0, which we know publicly he has access to that card, Ray's in hand. Ray is here. What are you gonna do? Let's go into the 0. Now, are we gonna get Veilered? If we try to search for Engage or add back Engage, the Veiler's gonna clap us. If we don't do that, we have a non-target pop. So what's it gonna be? And also the RS would be able to negate you. So this is public knowledge that we know we're gonna get negated by this. So we shouldn't trigger. We should use the quick effect instead. We're doing that. Very well done. Non-target pop away the RS. Veiler's now ready. Azalea on summon can get rid of the Zalin of the field spell. We are going to get rid of the Zalin. Does not even bother to Veiler because we know the Kagari's coming and we're holding it. Now, if we held Veiler for Kagari, could you imagine if they have a linkage to dodge the Veiler? No. No. He's got it. JW surviving turn 1 Kewl Tune. Let's go. All right, are you not convinced to play Skystriker? I think I am. I'm going to play some Skystriker right after this tournament. Damn. Now it's over for Bori. How could it not be over, right? Add the, let's additional +1 with the Pot of D after grabbing the Widow Anchor. What did we lose forever? Nothing, it looks like. We're okay. Now, double Widow Anchor plus Ash and Max C. We're going to Widow Anchor, take control. Duel's Genesis. Negate Now, there's a problem. This Widow Anchor is not activatable. We have to control nothing in the main monster zone, but it's also very important to take control of the monster. We disallowed them from using the field spell to be able to tribute off the Rotary to then search the deck, or summon from the deck, also use the Hand of Synchro, and then negate with the Duel's Genesis Mate. GG no re. Got him. Damn. Take it back. We don't care. Now, this should be one turn kill. 100%. You can make Kagari, add back. In a turn where you have not yet summoned 0, nor activated 0, not activated Kagari, and not activated Ray, all of those can add to more damage in a turn. More and more damage. Tons of damage. Yep. Summon 0. And then 0 could use the second effect to summon Ray and Rose for an additional 3,000 damage. 28, so that's enough for game mate. The Ray could then activate to go into another Skystriker, which could then trigger a Lemnis Engrave to turn the Rose into another Skystriker. So that would be an additional 3k into another 3k. Boreal was the one that DC'd. It looks like JW took that win. Yep. It's not his fault. It's not a bad thing on him. That's just the rule. He legitimately disconnected and got 2-0'd. Okay. JW wins it. Rico on summon, come to me. Rotary. Rotary additional summon, reveal the mix. Mix is here. And now by activating Rotary, you turned on my Azuna. Azuna dump Lupus. Lupus is going to reborn. We're going to be attempting to go into the good suck, right? Ooh, that's very good. Ogre is great. The Lupus will now be banished. Now, some people could say you should wait for the rank 5 Xyz, the Nash Knight. It deals with the Nash Knight, it deals with 2 bodies, but then the Lupus would be in grave. So if you want the Lupus banished, that would be the downside instead. It's a trade-off. Lupus stays banished, and now they have the Azuna on field instead. Let's Kewl Tune field spell, additional summon the Q, get negated by Ash. Further synchro into the remix. Remix could add back the Ogre if we want. Ogre on the Vanquish Soul start. That's also going to be great. I don't know what's going on. Ogre is going to have a big impact on this duel. More than once. I would think so. When does Remix want to add back the Ogre? We have Negate, add back Ogre. We have Clip Synchro play, Ash Negate, Veiler, about 5 disruption. Ooh, a loss. You do want to consider just maybe saving Fool Loss for your own turn against a deck like Kewl Tune, because they do want to make a lot of plays on your turn. Remix into Zalin, negate the second effect, mate. No Jokel for you, and destroy. We don't even get to keep that attribute in hand. We can't even use the field spell to then get ogred. We need a Vanquish Soul on the field to even target to then get ogred and popped, and wham bam thank you ma'am. Let's hop in another. Reinforce plus Chain Dimension Shifter. Yeah, let's get out of this duel. We're under Shifter. We got shifted. Rose Whip, not okay. Shifter, that's fine. Let's go. Q on summon, Ash, negate. Now, what can we do off of this mate? Ideally, Rotary would be limited to 1, and there'd be no chance of already having 1 in hand. Good that we don't already have 1. Maker and Q, let's look at the top of the deck here. We banished away the Lupus for good. Be gone. Gone from the duel. If they reveal a Caesar, you want to banish that. Lupus, obviously, want to banish that. Impulse in response to an effective search means that we are going to draw 2 cards, then discard. We could draw into an Azuna. We could draw into other attributes to make the Holly Sue better. Just like that. Discard away the Caesar Valius. Let's Rotary reveal the Veiler, additional summon, tribute off the Veiler to then summon from the deck into a mix. Mix on summon, searching for the Q. Holly Sue, don't mind if I do. Reveal the Mad Love. Now reveal a Dark and Fire to summon from the deck. From the deck, Raisin on summon within the column of the Rico, add a Borger. Then we want to destroy that column. Do not pass back priority. Do not allow them to enter an open game state. Goodbye to Rico. Borger, return back the Holly Sue, and let's draw a card, maybe into another hand trap. We have Ash so far for the Kewl Tune Synchro. Fool Loss is not even a valuable attribute. This is absolutely useless. Goodbye to Borger, the effect of Mix, as they now make back-to-back. Rotary, look at the hand maker, non-target, bounce a card back to the hand. Begone Fire Attacker. As we grab our Kewl Tune Synchro, we're not done. We're still Kewl Tune Synchro grabbing our clip, set imperm passing. Back-to-back, twice in one turn. In response to a monster effect, we'll be grabbing a monster that's banished or engraved, summoning it or adding it to the hand, and then optionally synchroing. That could be at least double disruption, plus we have the imperm and the clip play. Let's see what this ends up becoming. We have the Vanquish Soul start. Target the Raise in the Search. This is what you'd want to use Ogre against, which we saw we've had right into Typhoon. Ooh, you cannot activate the back-to-back. Now, the Typhoon can get impermanence. That's an issue. Imperm, negate. Now, ideally, you'd be able to like chain back-to-back, then chain impermanence. That would not be legal because it's not negating back-to-back. It's preventing it from even being activatable. And then also, ideally, when your Typhoon gets negated, I could now special summon or summon for the rest of the turn, right? Nope. Lingering effect, no summon for you. But we have Holly Sue. We have Azuna. We have Ash. We have still multiple plays on the opponent's turn. Thus, a card like Typhoon in Vanquish Soul Canine is a card you should always be thinking about when playing against Kewl Tune. And if it's not in your extra deck, you are playing Vanquish Soul incorrectly, I'd say. Raise and wipe out the back-to-back. Looking at the hand, shuffle a card back. That's a big fat hand. Oh my Jesus. Additional summon the clip, tribute off clip, summon from the deck into the mix. Azuna is not turned on yet. When is she gonna get turned on? Once something activates Engrave. Reborn back to back. Ain't no way, mate. That's right, Q. The number one priority with Q is to reborn it back to back. Then I would say reborn a Zalin or a Maker. Then you could think about the other cards you'd want to be reborning from the deck or grave. We're now going to summon the Remix. Q and Mix is turning on the Azuna. Azuna is ready to do what, though? What can she do? Azuna gets summoned. Her level is messed up. Back-to-back is passively increasing the level by 2. We don't have a Lupus to send from the deck because Lupus is banished. We wouldn't even be able to Exceed. So just the level modulation, it messes up Synchroing, messes up Exceed summoning. We have the field spell, a one-time protection, but we have double attack with all of our tuners. And 32. And the turn, we have Remix, which could add back a hand trap potentially. We could add back Veiler, plus Reborn a Rico. Rico could search for a clip if we play, we could grab the clip instead. And plus Reborn the Rico. Rico search the deck or the graveyard, add back the Mix. Rico could have added the clip from the graveyard, and we could have had a Veiler instead of a Mix. What do you think about that? Would Veiler over Mix be better? Or the trigger effect of Mix is going to be more beneficial potentially, as we now make a Loudness War. Loudness War is protecting our other tuners from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. Q, look at the deck. Rico is going to be popping the field spell. Holly Sue is going to non-target take control of the smallest attack, which is the back-to-freaking-back. Unless back-to-back chains and summons a smaller monster. Right? You're gonna steal Veiler. Sure, take the Veiler, it's yours. Summon, pass it on over to you. Look at the top of the deck. Lantern, I'd say, is a one-of, right? Banishing Lantern, quite beneficial here. Important one-ofs that you would want to banish off the top of the deck. We have Loudness War in response to any card. We're gonna copy the Mix by banishing it to destroy the Holly Sue. Jiao Long, reveal. 1 fire, double fire is a search, 1 fire is change of battle position to 0 defense. Immensely vulnerable here. Rock of the Vanquisher link off. We have Mad Love here to now return back to the extra deck, the back-to-back. Clip's gonna summon, then synchro with the Mix, right? Mix will trigger to destroy. Mix has only destroyed a monster through the effect of Loudness War, so that did not count through the hard once per turn of Mix. Let's do that. We're gonna search, chain link block, and we're going to banish in the extra deck and then pop. The Borger can draw in response. That's exactly what we're going to do. Draw into me. It's difficult to grind with Vanquish Soul. right? I mean, we draw on, we search in, grab the Kewl Tune Synchro. Azuna is going to summon. We're no longer having our levels messed up. Wipe away the Maker, which only triggers when sent to the grave by Synchro Summon. Little Knights is not triggering on Summon. We didn't use it with an extra deck monster. We have Ash, we have Droll, we have Mad Love return back. We have the Holly Sue play. Caesar, I think, has been in the graveyard this whole time. Yeah, so we have not been able to raise and add back. Come forth from the deck. Jialong is here. Raisin is semi-limited still, right? And do we have 2 Raisins in grave? Where are the Raisins at? Raisin, yeah, double Raisin in grave. That's an issue. So we couldn't summon a Raisin. We're going to use a Little Knight to banish away the Loudness War, as the Loudness War is copying the mix to take out the Holly Sue, which now is not destroyed thanks to the Little Knight banishing it. Kewl Tune Synchro. No search for you. Would not be able to synchro on resolution. It does not have a special effect to create a weird special synchro summon. It's to perform a regular synchro on resolution. Kewl Tune Field Spell, additional summon Rotary, tributed off, summon from the deck, Rico on summon, add, mix from the deck. As we draw on Lockbird, mix can add from the grave. We are instead just going to time out, it looks like, right? Because we would have normal summon mix. I don't think we used mix yet. Things got complicated. All right, yeah. A lot of things are happening. I think that is fair. That is fair. Martha, summon for the deck, nothing as the Ash negates. Oh boy. What now? Elise could special summon from the hand. Irene can return a card back. We have used up our normal on the Martha. We have Carmel. Now, there has been some misunderstandings on how Carmel works. People think that once Carmel hits the field, they got the negate. That's it. My Nibiru's no good. My other cards are no good. That's not true. Carmel cannot negate unless there is a card in my graveyard to add back to my hand. If there's no card in my grave, you can Nibiru me, you could Imperm, you could Ash, you could Droll. I can't stop it. See, can't negate this. So you would think maybe you'd want to negate. We get to add a card back, and then we'd have to be able to set a trap. Otherwise, and right now, it just can't even do anything. Still no negate. So that is a big downside. I think a lot of people have been overlooking with this deck, especially when playing against it, not understanding. And I'm just double checking. It's add 1 card. Literally any card. Doesn't have to be a monster card or an Exosister card. Now, despite that, we're just going to count as a disruption because inevitably we would get a card it's worth using Imperm on. So we had the Carmel, Imperm, and Bell. We lost Carmel because it got negated. We're now going to Bell negate the Q. And now we just have the Impermanence. Is Imperm enough? Grab the Rotary, Synchro, Rotary, and Q into the Track Maker. We can Imperm. Irene in hand is allowing Rotary to search the deck. Not good. So there is some nuance here, which I love. I love this. I love the skill expression. Why are the chain links weird? If you have Rotary on chain 2 and you have Maker on chain 3, let's just pretend there's only these 2 chains, right? Let's pretend like Q's not here. If I chain a hand trap to stop Maker, let's say it's Veiler. I Veiler Maker, or let's say I Ash it, you now lose the Maker and the Rotary because the Rotary has to have a card in hand to look at in order to search the deck. So if they chain this card and you're gonna lose the Rotary effect anyway, you may as well put it on the higher chain link because it does not matter. If they had 2 cards in hand, then they would change their chain link order based off of that because they're much less likely gonna dump their hand in response to the Maker and Rotary play to then dodge the Rotary being able to search. The small little, tidbit there. So a lot of people are differentiating when and why. You don't get a definitive to always set up your chain links in a certain way. It is dependent on the scenario and how many cards they have in hand, what they have in the field, what turn it is. Mix, grab it, Rico. Additional summon with the field spell, Rico, grab the clip. Remix, boosted since you have a tuner and grave. Carmel was negated very early on within this turn. And then Exosister has a bad follow-up. We're playing off the top of the deck. Yep, that's what happens. I think that's the main thing I learned with Exosister. In the majority of the duels it's been losing, it just doesn't have that follow-up play. If their field gets dealt with, they usually have nothing. Ideally, they have the Castapel to search for a Martha as part of their turn 1 combo to at least Martha push forward afterward. Finish me. 37, 3K, lethal damage mate. Exosister going first for game 2. Let's go. What? The brick. The deck gained, what, 3 Ichis? 3 of the spell that searches for 2 cards? Right, we gained like 6 cards to add consistency and we still bricked? Not cool. Max C in response to Kewl Tune Synchro, Ash, negate, now the triple tactics talents turned on. This is an absolute disaster. I don't know what to say. Let's just ×2 this. Nice chain link. Up to chain link 6, that is. But, you know, when we have 0 board presence, we don't have a follow-up, and Mess Yuki should be thanking Kewl Tune. Thank you for revealing that I have nothing to look forward to. Yep, okay. I'm going to be drawing into a dimension shifter. That's nice to know. And then you could save time. You could now, with confidence, surrender knowing that the top card of your deck is nothing. Quick launch, Ash, negate. Let's chain quick launch again, mate. So I would assume this is a solid 1, 2, 3, 4 disruption. Negate a monster, they can't respond. Negate anything, negate a spell and trap, negate an interaction with the deck. That should be enough. Now, Theo Realize interacts with the deck, but by cost. It's a good way to return the driver back in the deck, actually, by getting Medius the Pure, return the driver back, come forth, activate on summon, and now we negate. Just like that, mate. Now, could we have used the Borload to negate? Possibly, but then what if they had another Medius the Pure in the hand to then normal summon? Things you want to account for. I don't know if the Rocket Loader is going to result in an extra disruption. As I talked about, we had the main 4 disruption, now down to 3. Ash, negate, Lucina, search in the deck. We still have Borload, Savage, negate anything. We still have the Reboot, negate any spell and trap card. This is how you go into Fiendsmith with 1 card. You turn 1 monster into a Light Fiend, and you pop off from there. Negate, and then we got a Brick Mate. This could have been the Welcome Home card instead, which we could have further made plays with, unfortunately. But then the Reboot would have just negated. Let's now go first. Lucina plus normal summon power. Patron, we are going to be activating. Imperm negating. This is stopping a Baron to floor. This is also playing around a Droll and Lockbird. We didn't want a Lucina search first, then get Drolled. So Baron to floor would be ready to negate the Droll. Call by the Grave, finger the Fluid Loss, allow the negate. I can't make Baron to floor, but I could still make instead the level 7 Synchro. We also could search a Lucina. We have 2 searches here. This search was negated, but then I'll search again. Negate. And then Power Patron Synchro, search our second time. Activate, come to us Tinia. We have the effect to special summon within the main phase. If we have a Trap and Grave, this is a destroy. We do have impermanence, so this becomes even more valuable. This denies 2 bodies on the field. That is great. No Reborn and no initial body. Let's see. Honda Powered has lost nearly his entire hand. Oh my Jesus. Ua, Impulse, Ash, Imperm. Elfnote, to be fair, had Call by the Grave to at least nullify one of those cards. Nonetheless, still impressive for Elfnote to play through that many hand traps. We have Drags for negate any spell and trap card. The Rhapsody of Madness will negate any card in the field. And then also we could get rid of a spell and trap card. This is going to be returning it back to the hand, or we could return back a monster. We have impermanence. I would say about 4 disruption. The Regina is kind of overlapping with the Rhapsody additional disruption. It's too much. Too much. In fact, Regina could summon Tinia, banish a card from the hand, then we could reborn Lucina to then negate, then Lucina could return back a monster mate. Not bad. All right, we're going to Foolish Burial, summon from the deck, Absorouter, when sent, search the deck. This is something we could have gammed, but then the Imperm would be no good. We are not going to use the Impermanence. Gamma's going in on the Rocket Loader. We don't want to just negate, we want to destroy. Uh-oh. Now, Imperm would Chainlink block the Gamma, and if the Imperm gets negated by Crossout, we then maybe would lose the duel. Well, thank you for turning my Imperm back on. Spell card, Monster Reborn, reborn back the Rocket Loader into Striker Dragon. Honda, tell me you're on Imperm. Please, don't do this to me. I know you're a rogue deck. I know we're playing some spicy cards here to help make the combos more consistent and better. Please, negate. Yes. Negate. The Impermanence mate. I felt like there was a chance he was not playing it. Now, someone's probably going to say he had it in game 1 or 2. I wasn't paying attention if that's the case. Still have Regina discarding the Lucina. What exactly does that mean? It could return back a level 6 or lower, can return back a spell, or we could banish a card from the hand temporarily. This will be interesting. Ooh, we got the Fortuna. Switch positions with the middle whenever you want as a quick effect to chain in response to a spell and trap card, ideally, to return it back. So when the Boot Sector launch wants to reborn from the grave or summon from the hand, bounce it back. Is this a hard one to return? Yes, you could only use this effect once per turn. That's a big issue. And this is exactly why we got the Fortuna. In response to the field spell, bounce. And then, no good. Oh boy. Honda, I appreciate immensely. Thank you for bringing Dragon Link in. I very much enjoyed you clapping it up in game 1. I do want to be learning the deck better. Hopefully we'll have a good combo in the site for Dragon Link for me to brush up on how this craziness works out. Patron's going to be changing the level in the middle, Baron to floor, search the deck with the power Patron. Come to me, Tinia is here. Wipe away the Striker Dragon. 7,400, come on, keep on pushing. Not yet lethal. We are going to attack, attack, attack. You up, mate? Okay. 600 life. We can return a monster back. We can banish a card from the hand. We can negate anything with the Rhapsody. We could return back a spell and trap. We can Baron to floor, negate anything. Let's do all of that. Negate the field spell. Return back the Rocket Tracer. Fortuna chain return back, no? Was that not the play? If he tries to pop, just return it back so he can't pop it and not summon for the deck. We have Dragon Shrine, Baron to floor, negate. This sends a dragon, then if it was a normal dragon, you could send an additional dragon. Striker Dragon non-summon is not going to activate its effect. It's just going to simply open game state, ignition effect, pop itself, add recharger trigger, send to the grave, target Striker, summon a different monster. Garura is here. Oh. My life's too low to crash in. We can't. We're at 600 life, right? It was all the attacks were too high to swing in to get that draw 1. I think so. Hajime. Set to pass. Are you out of your freaking mind? Queen Azamina. This card in your hand or field is sent to the grave or banished by an activated effect. You can special summon it. Well, obviously it's a combo piece and we don't have the combo to initiate the piece of the combo. Radiant Typhoon, I feel like I've not seen you for a while. I've seen you more in other decks than your own. Mystical Space Typhoon, away that forbidden droplet, as now we are reliant on just Impulse with no trap and grave. I guess you could MST this, then we could use the one in hand to then actually destroy something. But I think we all know where this duel's heading down. What happens when you brick going first? Come forth, Radiant Typhoon, Varun, grab the MST. MST, the Impulse, could use the Impulse in hand to now negate and destroy. Negate and destroy the Crocea, attempting to summon. Normal summon the Ash. Let's make a Little Knight on summon. Banish away the Ash Blossom, then end the turn. You what? We're now going to use the Typhoon Mandate, return back to the deck, get that draw 1. We have Ash plus the Little Knight. Still bricked up. What is going on? Come to me, Eldum. Decaying Guns were the only reason you played Duel Links? I had no idea how to use YouTube. And so I saw Guns Blazing making a video every day, and I'm like, I could do this, right? So I just copied him, make a video every day, and then people like the video and the streams, and you know, that's how things work. Little Knight, Chain Banish, add the Swen, Special Summon, Come to Me, Ascendance, Reborn out the Crusea. Crusea is going to then be the end of this duel. We'll top of game 2. What do we have here? Droplet, negate with impulse, negate anything with crescendo. We could then take control of a card with the Enlil Gursu. Oh my Jesus. The Dingursu could be reborn. The Enlil in the graveyard can now use the card effect in graveyard to send a card in the field to the graveyard. Let's do it. When I say classic MD, I'm not talking about the release of Master Duel. I'm talking about classic Yu-Gi-Oh! I want 20 years ago Yu-Gi-Oh! In the Master Duel client. No, I don't want to go back to Drytron having a Herald of Ultimateness and 5 fairies in hand. No, thank you. Get rid of Gurura. Eldum into a Typhon right away. And the turn. If they ever release a classic mode, the main way to tell that Konami is serious about it is if they completely remove the extra monster zones. Not cross them out, not blank them out. They increase the size of the back row to fit the size of the main monster zone. They have to put actual work into the field zones fitting for the classic mode. And then I'm like, okay, we got a real mode on our hands. Little Knight, on summon, banish away the cross-out Designate, Galatea, banish along Gursu, reborn back. We're going to be discarding a card to Come to Me, our World Legacy World Wand. Tribute summon. Mate, what are we doing? World Legacy World Wand's going to grab back a banish Enlil Gursu to come forth back onto the field, which will now be stealing Typhon? Your Typhon is mine? What the? Okay. We got the Crescendo, Control, the Typhon, the Impulse, the Droplet still. Do we have a way to reborn the Dingursu? We do not. What is going on? We keep on losing our field. What the heck is this? 3,000 to the face. Now, this is a special summon negate. If they were to link summon, negate. That is insane, mate. Now, a special summon for the graveyard, this will not be able to negate. Xyz Synchro Link from the action deck, as long as it's not a fusion. Unless it's a contact fusion, it's going to be able to negate. Banish some Galatea. Again, normal summon tributing for World Wand. I feel like I've never seen someone do this, and he's already done it twice in the same duel. We're now going to World Wand Banish to grab the Enlil Gursu to reborn it back at 2,600. We did not try to, it wasn't to negate, it was to actually reduce its attack. Add back the, we're continuously recycling this. Now, Crescendo requires for us to control an Orcus Link to be able to negate anything, but he keeps on deleting our monsters. Well done. Good job to you. Let's keep on going. Begin. All right. We could return a card back, negate a spell and trap, negate a monster. We're going to have the way to get this triggered to return multiple cards back. We can negate with MST. I guess we also have Drone Lockbird. I would say it's about 6 disruption. Gursu. Negate you from dumping from the deck, but then we have a second effect. We're going to use Forbidden Droplet, sending Harp Horror and Deception. Uh-oh. Looks like we're going to get negated on Droplet. Yep. I mean, this was like public knowledge, right? We knew this would happen. We're just desperate. What else can we do? Now, the Droplet does accomplish getting the Harpour in Graveyard. I don't know about, I guess we thought that this was going, so even though this was public knowledge, we know he has an MST, that's why we sent the spell to ensure that he cannot chain the MST, but then we forgot the other effect of the mandate that if they have enough spells in grave, which they did, what they need is a Radiant Typhoon plus 2 other spells, then they could just chain to the card to then chain MST to their own card that the card was stopping them from activating MST to. Yep, we didn't understand that or expect that, but yeah. Even if we did, it's not like we really had a better option besides keeping the Deception Sinful, and that wouldn't be enough to win this duel anyway. The Velgler was able to return back the Harpour already, as you've seen that. That was a big anti-play. That really does disrupt us, whether it's a DD Crow or a Bestial or return back in the deck. We have Magician's Soul drawing into a Fool Loss. Oh, yep, the Droll's what got me. You got me. Totem Bird was ready to negate a Spell and Trap card. Spell and Trap card is activated, so is it good to use Totem Bird in response to the Deception Sinful getting a monster in Graveyard, right? Because that's what you want to do. That'd be very bad because it's an illegal play. You cannot Totem Bird the Deception Sinful activating on field the effect to search the deck. You can only negate the activation of Deception Sinful because it says only Spell and Trap card, not or effect. Finish me. 2,400 while your opponent has no monsters in the grave. Full loss on the attack. Wow, you didn't full loss on the attack of Velgler. You could have reduced the attack to then still lose the duel. All's good. Thank you. Let's go. Thank you, YouTube. That was the top 16. We'll now be advancing to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be playing Elfnote against Radiant Typhoon. Let's go.